In a city that never stopped buzzing, there lived a man named Marcus. He wasn't just rich. He was the very definition of wealth. His name was on the tallest skyscrapers, and his signature alone was worth millions. But Marcus had a philosophy that governed every second of his life. He believed the world was divided into two kinds of people: those who have and those who serve. He walked with a cold, sharp pride, looking down on anyone who couldn't match his net worth. To Marcus's kindness was a weakness, and time was just a currency for making more money. He often said the poor were poor because they lacked the will to be great, and he made sure everyone around him felt his superiority. One cold winter evening, as Marcus stepped out of his custom limousine, an old man in tattered rags approached him. The man's hands were trembling, not from greed, but from the biting hunger and the freezing wind. He whispered in a fragile voice, "Sir, could you spare just a single coin for a warm meal?" Marcus didn't even break his stride. He adjusted his expensive silk tie, looked the man in the eyes with total indifference, and said, "My wealth is the result of my hard work. Your poverty is the result of your laziness. Do not shadow my path." He walked away, leaving the old man shivering in the darkness. Marcus believed he was invincible. He believed his gold was a shield that even fate could not pierce. But life has a mysterious way of humbling the proud when they least expect it. Months later, the invincible Marcus collapsed in his office. He woke up in a room that all his money couldn't make comfortable: a sterile hospital suite. The finest doctors from across the globe were flown in to see him. Marcus looked at them, his eyes filled with a desperate fire, and said, "I will give you half of my empire. I will sign over my companies today. Just give me 10 more years of life." The lead doctor, a man who had seen thousands of lives begin and end, looked at him with a heavy heart. "Mr. Marcus," he said softly, "death does not accept checks. We can manage your pain, we can offer you comfort, but we cannot stop the clock that nature has set." For the first time in his life, Marcus felt true, paralyzing fear. He looked at the diamond-encrusted watch on his bedside table. It was still ticking, but it was no longer his friend. It was a countdown to a destination where his money had no value. Realizing his end was near, Marcus called his most trusted assistant to his side. His voice was no longer the loud, commanding roar of a CEO. It was a fragile, broken whisper. "I have 3 final wishes," Marcus said, clutching the assistant's sleeve. "Promise me you will fulfill them exactly as I say, without question." First, he requested that his coffin be carried to the grave only by his doctors. He wanted the world to see that when the final hour strikes, even the most brilliant healers are helpless against the cycle of life. Second, he commanded that the path leading to his grave be strewn with his entire collection of gold, diamonds, and rare jewels. He wanted every passerby to see that the wealth he had spent his whole life chasing was now nothing more than beautiful dust, left behind on the very ground he once thought he owned. And then, with a tear rolling down his hollow cheek, he gave his third and most strange wish. "I want my hands to hang outside the coffin," he said. "Keep them wide open and keep them completely empty for everyone to see." When the day of the funeral arrived, the city stood still in a state of shock. The procession was unlike anything history had ever seen. People watched in stunned silence as the doctors struggled with the physical weight of the coffin. They walked over a path sparkling with millions of dollars worth of jewels, stepping on them as if they were common pebbles in the street. But no one looked at the gold. Everyone was staring at Marcus's hands. They were pale, they were open, and they were heartbreakingly empty. In the middle of the crowd, a young child looked up at his mother and asked, "Mom, why is the rich man showing us his empty hands?" Before the mother could speak, a voice answered from the shadows. It was the same old man Marcus had turned away months ago. The old man looked at the coffin and said, "He is teaching us the greatest lesson of all. He is showing us that we bring nothing into this world, and despite all our struggles, our greed, and our hoarding, we take absolutely nothing out. The story of Marcus's empty hands spread further than his business empire ever did. People began to realize that Marcus had spent his entire life building a kingdom of shadows. He had gathered everything that couldn't be kept and ignored everything that truly mattered. He learned far too late that true wealth isn't found in what you gather in your hands, but in what you scatter from your heart. Your bank balance stays behind to be fought over by others. Your titles are erased by the passing of time. The only thing that truly travels with you into the silence of eternity is the love you gave, the lives you touched, and the kindness you shared when you had the chance. As you move through your life today, take a moment to look at your own hands. Are you using them only to grab and hold? Or are you using them to build a legacy of the soul? Because in the end, we all leave the same way with empty hands and a heart that tells our true story. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that makes you think.